How's it going, people? Today I am going to be reviewing The Fog, imported from the UK in 4K Ultra HD, and I got that coming up for you next. So this is going to be a slow week as far as releases go, but hey, that means that I can finally review The Fog for you guys because I did import this during Christmas. I just haven't had a chance to record it for you guys, and here it is today. Getting into the movie itself first. The Fog was one of Carpenter's films that I haven't seen for a long time. I'm talking like 20 years long time. Now I see what this film is actually going for, and that is for like a Creature from the Black Lagoon kind of. It just has a more slower and a lot more of a calm pace to it. And this movie, it definitely reminds me of older films like The Creature from the Black Lagoon and all of that kind of stuff. And for that, I actually do like this movie. I just want to love it. I just don't. Adrienne Barbeau is great in the movie along with Jamie Lee Curtis. My big issue with this movie is just the slow and languid pace. I definitely feel like even those older horror movies that they wanted to replicate, they were a little shorter and they definitely got to the point a lot faster. Look, there is no mystery here, to be quite honest with you. There's something in the fog. It is just scooping people up and killing them, and they end up to be zombies. That's it. I let you in on the secret because there is no secret here. If you are not going to give the audience a good mystery, then just get to the point faster. And that is my big problem with this movie. And for that, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. It's a good John Carpenter movie that just isn't great. And getting into the video quality here. This was put through a 4K scan and given a 4K digital intermediate with Dolby Vision. Now, all of the other John Carpenter films that were UK imports that I've been reviewing, all of those were given Dolby Vision, so this is no different. And like all of those imports, along with every single import that I have ever seen as far as 4K goes, you can view this on any 4K player. They are not region locked as far as the 4K version goes. This movie does have a heavy amount of grain, heavier than the other Carpenter films that I have reviewed for you guys. That is just something that isn't going to go away. I will say that it is more problematic at times here, but you could say that it is the point, and the point is to be harder to see what's through the fog and harder to see exactly what is actually going on. But really, I can't not see that that is just a little bit of a cop out. And as far as clarity goes, I feel like it takes the biggest hit. This is a pretty soft looking movie that is a lot clearer and is a lot more stepped up than the Blu-ray version. I will say that I definitely prefer this version, but still, this movie has a lot of soft edges to it, and there are some crisp scenes, but I definitely feel like it's lacking in clarity and in detail. There is a lot more detail in the ships that are in this movie that are out to sea, or the church that it takes place at the end of the film, or the watchtower that Adrienne Barbeau's character runs her radio show through. All of that has more detail than the Blu-ray, just not a lot of detail. And when you get to the HDR and Dolby Vision, I don't feel like it just has a lot to work with here. There just really isn't a lot of color to this movie. And when you're looking for things to pop, like HDR should, they need something to work with, and this movie doesn't want to give it that much. You do see explosions and fire effects at the end of the film that really give it that HDR and Dolby Vision pop that you are looking for. But other than those brief scenes, I would say that HDR is a non-issue here. And for that, I am going to give this a 6 out of 10. We are given a DTS HD 5.1 mix that all the other John Carpenter releases that I've been reviewing have. And like all of the other ones, this is a front-heavy mix. And there isn't a lot of surround work to speak of. I will say that the majority of the surround work goes to the score of the film, which is excellent. It's the same John Carpenter scores that we have been getting, and I definitely do like them, and they are the best that I've ever heard them sound, just because of the fact that, we finally get this in 5.1. But other than that, speaker separation is kind of lacking here, and I just feel like it is the same kind of lackluster 5.1 that we've been getting on these John Carpenter releases. I'm going to give that a 7 out of 10. It's not bad, it just could be better. And when we're talking about digital copies here, this is a UK import, and a lot of those don't have digital copies with them. As a matter of fact, I've never seen one that did. So this one doesn't either, but you know what? Don't mind that. Just because you get a whole lot of special features here. And this is where you get your bang for your buck as far as this particular release goes. Because with this movie, you get, as far as special features go, audio commentaries from John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, the producer. They talk about at length just everything to do with the production and the ideas behind the film. And John Carpenter is so awesome to listen to, and I just really, really love listening to hear him talk, so this is always excellent. And then Adrienne Barbeau and the rest of the cast come back for a second audio commentary. They tell a lot of stories, and it's a lot lighter, it's a lot more fun, but I feel like it is still a good audio commentary track. And then you have about 3 or 4 featurettes that are decent length that go into the production of the film, and a lot of the special effects and all of that kind of stuff. And then you go into John Carpenter and his meaning behind the film. There is a whole lot of featurettes and audio commentaries here, but there is actually more, because I usually incorporate the extra stuff that actually comes with the release in the special features, and you get a whole lot here. You get the soundtrack to the movie, you get a poster, you get a booklet that has a decent amount of information in it. You get just a crazy good amount of production stills that come with this. And this packaging is also great, and it is awesome. Everything about this just screams 10 out of 10 as far as special features go. You can't ask for more than this, so give it up for them on this point here. And getting into my last looks at The Fog. Look, this is not one of my favorite John Carpenter movies, but I do have to respect the ambition to look back and see what kind of films were made before his time and try to replicate that. I do feel like it goes to mildly good to not so good success, but really, I just did enjoy coming back to this movie. And when you add up all my scores for The Fog, imported from the UK in 4K Ultra HD, you come out to a 30 out of 40. And that is a pretty damn good score that definitely encompasses what I think of this release. And next on the channel, we're going to be getting into some Academy Award releases. Bohemian Rhapsody is coming out that I'm going to review for you guys, and A Star is Born, and along with that, Overlord is coming out, and that wasn't nominated. Maybe it should. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But I am going to squeeze that in for you guys as well. So if you're excited about all of that and you've already seen those films, maybe comment down below. Let me know what you think about them. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. You guys are great. I don't need to say it because you know it. And I will see all of you next time.